Hey, it's MB. Working on a driver today. Going to be trying to put the shaft tip on the shaft with some epoxy and let it sit and all that kind of stuff. So I'll be putting it all together in this video, and I'll show you all the tools I use and all the equipment and adhesive stuff and all that I'm going to be using as well. Enjoy the video. Okay, so some of the supplies we are going to need for installing the adjustable shaft adapter to the shaft and the head. We're going to need some acetone, masking tape, a shaft holder for when you put it in a vise or just to keep it flat on the table, the shaft itself, some fine sandpaper, the shaft adapter, some epoxy that is 24-hour cure epoxy, a towel to wipe off the acetone, and your adjustment tool for when you put it all together. Alright, so we have the shaft adapter here. What we're going to need to do is take off the ferrule somehow. Take that little tip off, and we're going to measure the depth of the shaft into the adapter. And then we're going to mark that with a piece of masking tape. We're marking this so that we know where to sand to, as well as put the epoxy to, so we're not going outside of where the shaft, we're not going outside of where it needs to be. Okay, so now I'm gonna sand on the shaft, from the tape down to the tip. That way we can get a rough edge for the epoxy to stick to. You don't have to do this for very long, just roughen it up a little bit to where the epoxy has a surface to stick to. And then just make sure you're going all the way around and that there's not really any bare spot that you missed. Next we'll clean it with the acetone. Alright, so the next step is to clean this tip with acetone to make sure that we get all that loose dust off there. Otherwise the epoxy will not want to stick. Good and clean. Very nice. Okay, so now we're ready to begin mixing and applying the solvent, or the epoxies. So I've got JB Weld here, so it just says to squeeze it out and mix it together a little bit and go from there, basically. It doesn't say how much I need to use for this particular application, but we can always just make a lot and then throw it away because it's not that expensive. Probably should have grabbed something to mix with. Alright. So we should now be able to mix this together very nicely. And we're going to want to stick the end of the shaft in there and twirl it around so it's all covered. we're also going to want to put the ferrule tip back in the adjuster. So I've taken the tape off so I can see, so I can have the ferrule tip fit back on there. But this epoxy, so I ran out of camera space at the moment, but I freed it up now. I do have it finished. As you can see, it's very, I mean, you can't tell I hardly did anything special with it. I just kind of rolled the shaft around in the epoxy and cleaned it off after I was done, and it's looking pretty good. You can, it's nice and snug. It's already getting pretty tight, so I'm gonna let it sit as far as trying to swing it or anything till tomorrow, but I'm probably gonna go ahead and try to put the head on there here in a little bit, and then we're gonna go ahead and adjust the butt end of the shaft to the length that I want it, and then go ahead and install a grip.